Hey YouTube, this is Ashley24 2010. How are you guys? Okay, I'm coming to you today with some more hair tips. Just was thinking them up or whatever. Okay, the hair tip that I have for you today is detangling. With afro texture hair, you have to be very, very careful with detangling your hair. Our hair don't like being pulled on, ripped on, just not taken care of properly while detangling. You may be sealing your ends, you may be doing protective styles, all the right stuff, but detangling is like very serious. If you do not know how to properly detangle your hair or don't detangle your hair properly, then that growth that you just had, or sometimes your hard work can be flushed down the drain. And when I detangle my hair, I use my fingers, my handy dandy fingers. I don't usually use the shower comb. Once out of the blue, I'll use my shower comb. I never got the Denman brush. I want to, but never got it, and I don't have a bootleg one either. But detangling is very important. Also, with detangling, if you are using your fingers, make sure your nails are trimmed. Your hangnails are trimmed. That's even with styling. Like, your fingers are like key to styling and detangling and washing and conditioning. They have to be either trimmed down if they get shaggy, or the hangnails, because they are ripping at your hair as well. So you have to be very careful with that. What else? With hair, know your hair type. Know your hair type. I don't know if I said this in another video, but definitely know your hair type. Knowing your hair type is like number one. I know I said number one in another video, but this is like key to you finding the right products and knowing exactly what works for you and what doesn't work for you. As I said in the other video, what works for me may not work for you, and that's true with everyone. I know when I first started out on YouTube, and I'm looking and searching, and I'm like, oh my goodness, her hair is beautiful, and maybe those products may work for me, and maybe those products may work for me, and maybe those products may work for me. Thank God I ain't had no money, because I'd have been a serious product junkie. Anywho, but I did find a product after doing some research by a beautiful brown baby doll, and that's the Lucence line, and it works great. I love that shampoo and conditioner. Knowing your hair type, maybe I'll put up a hair type video. I know there's like thousands, and maybe not thousands, but hundreds of them surfing YouTube. But if you guys would like me to put up a hair type video, definitely let me know. Leave a comment, send me a message, and I'll be glad to do that for you. Okay, with hair, you have to oil your scalp, you have to moisturize your ends. Protein. Okay, moisture and protein. There has to be a balance. If it is imbalance, your hair will break or your hair will shed. And it's like, okay, like Ash, you told me to moisturize and seal my ends. I'm moisturizing and sealing my ends, girl. I'm wearing protective styles. I'm shampooing my hair, conditioning once a week. Why is my hair breaking? Are you using protein? Probably not. My mom was actually up this for New Year's, and she asked me a lot of questions about hair. It's crazy how many people ask you questions once you start being more knowledgeable about your hair, and they see that it's growing. You get a lot of questions. So my mom, she wants to transition to going natural. Didn't I tell you on another video she sold out on me in the summertime? She did. Anyways, so now she wants to transition, but she told me to do the strand test. And a strand test is it informs you on if your hair needs more moisture or if it needs more protein. So doing a strand test before any long-term protective style, say for instance kinky twist for a month and a half, 2 months, braids, sew-ins, etc. You have to make sure that your hair is in the right condition before putting your hair in those protective styles for a long period of time. So my mom hair, if your hair stretches a little bit and then snap, you may need some more protein. Now, if it just snaps, I think it was moisture or protein. Moisture and protein. Now, if it just stretches and stretches, I think you need a little bit more protein. Now, if it stretches and go back to its normal state, then you're balanced. There's more info about it. I could do another video on it if you would like me to, and then you'll have all of that information. But you definitely do need to do the strand test before any long-term protective styling. Protective styles, even though your hair is in protective styles, you have to make sure that you're still moisturizing your hair. You have to make sure that you're still oiling your scalp. A clean scalp, for some people it leads to more hair growth. For some people, the dirt make your hair grow. You ever heard that thing? Oh, dirt make my hair grow. It might. I don't know. For some people, I'm not busting. I promise, I'm not busting. Anyways, but when your hair, see, a lot of people forget that when your hair is in protective styles, to moisturize their hair, to care for their hair as if it wasn't in braids or sew-in. And you still have to, I mean, with the sewing, you probably won't be able to wash your hair as much. With braids, you should still be able to wash your hair and, still condition it fairly well. I know I do, and it works out really great. As I said before, it depends on the season. I know in the the summertime, my hair stayed moisturized. Like, I barely really had to moisturize it. I still did, but my kinky twists were moisturized and my hair stayed moisturized. Now for the winter, I'm like, holy moly, I gotta moisturize seriously crazy. But this is mine. Y'all like, see my little ponytail, my little crazy looking ponytail. Anyways, I still got it in the twist. I'll be taking it down like in a week. Well, by the end of, no, this weekend. This weekend I'll be taking these down. I'm gonna actually wash it today. But I think that is all the tips. Just pay attention. Listen to your hair. Listen to your hair. If your hair says no, it means no. Don't force no products on it that it doesn't just sit well with. Well, she used it. It has to work on my hair. Maybe this is just a little setback, or, it's time. It'll work. It'll work. If your hair say no, it don't work, it won't work. Don't keep using that product. What else? Let me see. Talked about protective styling, detangling, clipping your fingernails, still moisturizing and sealing, protein and moisture. Wide tooth combs, dimming brushes. Honestly, it's up to you. It is up to you. When detangling or combing your hair, naturals, wide tooth comb to comb your hair. For me, now what I'm seeing is that I still have the little knots that I talked about before in a past video. So what I do now is, even after I'm done detangling really, really well, I separate them into really good sections, making sure that my ends are detangled real good, and I use a small tooth comb and I smooth my ends out. The reason why I do that is I smooth them out and then I twist it up. Maybe I'll start braid, like I'll probably twist like down here, and then once I get close to the ends, I'll probably braid it. That's only to keep my hair from getting knots in them. So it's just smoothing my ends and keeping knots out of them. So that's the only time I use a small tooth comb on my head. Don't start from the root with a small tooth comb on your head. You setting yourself up to be set back. Don't set yourself back. Is there anything else? Listen to your hair during the weather changes. Like I said before, you'll have to probably switch up your products. Just listen. Do your research. Research is very important. I did a lot of research before I started buying products, and I'm like an oil junkie. I am a product junkie. I have a lot of freaking oils, but that's just for oils. That's it. I'm an oil junkie. But I do use them all in different ways. Just pay attention. Just start off basic regimen. Use the stuff in your house first. Yes, use the stuff in your house first. Don't go out buying stuff that you have. That you don't have. Don't go out buying stuff that you don't have and you have a lot of stuff in your house, use the stuff in your house first. See what works for you in your house, and you find out, well, this is staple. This is not staple. This is this. This is that. That's what I did with the olive oil replenishing conditioner. That's staple. I had like a huge bottle. I already loved it before I started my hair journey. But I'm like, okay, I know this is staple.